started. So this is talking about meditation today. For the first question is, what is meditation? There's a lot of people say, I meditate this and that. And what do they mean by when they say they meditate? To meditate is to concentrate. Okay. Now, what are you concentrating on? Meditation is all about concentration. And the day we do it, there's the old way or the new way. The old way, the way people are meditating today is nothing like the way they was doing it. They've been meditating for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Because we like to always go back to the beginning. There's three ways to talk to, there's the spirit world and there's the physical world. There's three basic ways to talk to the spirit world. In the West, we pray to them. In the East, they meditate to them. Okay. And in places like India, they do mantras where they actually call to them. Okay. So, we all know what prayer is. We ain't going over that. Today, we're going over meditating. How to meditate to them. And how to, because, this is based on a concept. Okay. The concept is that, supposedly, God is omnipresent. He's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He's always there. The reason we do not hear him or his presence is because we keep so much BS in our lives all the time that we have lost our connection. So, in the light, we do something called aligning. In the dark, they do something called calling. But meditation is based on aligning. Aligning is you just need to tune in to the radio station, which is Brain Broadcast. And you can pick up on these spiritual channels that you want to pick up on. And this is what get into the new way or the old way. Back long time ago, they was meditating on one thing and one thing only. They was meditating on the God. They wanted to get closer to God. They did not recognize our world to be reality. Reality was thought to be the spirit world. Our world was not accepted as being the real world. So people wanted to concentrate on that spirit world. Okay. And this is why they meditated. So they could forget about all this materialism. And how did they have materialism thousands of years ago? But this is written in books several thousand years ago about the sin of materialism and materialism leads you astray. I guess materialism have always been there. But people, what we need to do is focus on that God and on the spiritual side. That is the old way of meditation. The new way of meditation today, a lot of people are not focusing on the God. They're meditating on a lot of things. They're meditating on their success, on their health, on a lot of things, on their cat that's moving in the background. They're meditating on a lot of things. So we're going to go over the old way and the new way. So first we're going to get into, now if you watch any meditation videos or anything like that, they talk about how to meditate. You got to be in these positions and you got to cross your legs and you got to do this and that and have your fingertips a certain way. I don't believe in all that BS. Okay. I'm not into something called dogma. Okay. I'm into something called spirituality. Basically, for meditation to work, you do not have to be with your legs crossed. You do not have to be in any certain position. Your fingertips don't have to be a certain way. Blah, 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 blah. That's all whipped cream on top of your dessert. But there is one thing that you do have to do. You do have to have your chakras aligned to meditate. So, most people, even if you're going to meditate in a chair, you have to do it where your back is straight. And this is why their legs were crossed, so their chakra points would line up. But you can line up your chakra points sitting in a chair, sitting in a pillow, doing whatever you want to do. You can even meditate standing up if you want to. Okay, as long as your chakra points are aligned in a vertical direction. So, can you meditate laying down? Well, not really. Okay. Energy is viewed to go from in a vertical direction. going that way, going down this way. So your chakra points need to be aligned vertically. So if you want to cross your legs, sit in a chair, however you want to do it, as long as your chakra points are aligned in a vertical position, you can meditate. Okay. The next thing is prana activation. What does that mean? To meditate, you have to activate your chakras. This is done by what they call, Kundalini activation. There's lots of ways you can call it. We're just going to say it's called by the breath, what they call prana and pranayama. Okay. There's energy in the air. Okay. Unfortunately, if you was to ask a fish, hey, how do you get the oxygen out of the water? The fish would say, what oxygen? I don't see no oxygen. Okay, because the fish doesn't know that that he's able to pull the oxygen out of the air. The fish doesn't know that. He does it automatically. But not everything in the water can pull oxygen out of the water. That's the reason dolphins and whales must come to the surface and take a breath. Okay. We are living in a sea of energy, but we do not know how to tap into the energy which is surrounding us. We are like whales and dolphins. We do not know how to do that. So we have to breathe in to get in energy. So if you want to activate your chakras, you have to do what is prana, pranayama, or kundalini activation. You got to do the breathing. And the breathing is what gets your energy level up so you can meditate or do anything. Because if you're going to try to do anything with no energy, it's not going to work. Okay. So how do you breathe? The way you're breathing now? Wrong. To do activation, you have to do the deep breathing where you go all the way up, all the way down. And what I'd like to do is like it's an elevator. The elevator is going 100 stories above my head and going 100 stories below my feet. And I'm taking those very long breaths. And that will align your chakras and activate your chakras and get that and get some of that pranayama to start absorbing some of the energy out of the air so you can activate your chakras. Okay. And you have to do two things to meditate. You have to line up your chakras in a vertical position, and you have to do the breathing. Okay. Those are the two things you must do. Everything else is debatable. But if you're not going to do those two things, you're not really going to do any meditation. Because what you're going to do is just like, remember I told you, the spirit world is broadcasting all the time. And what we're doing is aligning when we're doing meditation. And to pick up on the spirit channels you want to pick up on, whichever channel you want to pick up on, there's a lot of channels out there. You have to power up your radio. And you're going to power up the radio by doing the breathing, and that will activate your chakras, and that will get your energy going where you'll be able to tap into this energy out there. And you'll be able to tap into whoever you want to tap into. And we'll be going over that later because not everybody wants to tap into the same person. Okay. But remember, in the light, we do aligning. And this meditation is all about aligning to whoever you want to contact. Okay. On the dark side, you do calling. Calling, you do not do meditation to do calling. Calling is something different that we'll discuss in another broadcast on how to do calling if you want to call somebody. But in the light, meditation is all about light work. Is you're going to activate your radio so you can tune into the channels. Now, there's two types of ways. Now, who are you tuning into? Okay. We're not arguing. There's the Eastern way and the Western way. Because most people want to tune into what is called the light. God, angels, spirit creatures, that way, going that direction. But there is two concepts on how to reach these beings up there. I'm not going to tell you which way is the right way. I'm only going to tell you the two ways of which they do it. There's the Eastern way, where, see, something they don't understand in India, that we have problems here that they don't have in India and other places. We've been searching for God for a very long time. India, China, Hinduism, Buddhism, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, because they know where God is, and they always know where God is. God is that speck of living energy that is inside of you. Okay, so if you're going to meditate, they meditate going in. They meditate on that speck of that seed of God, or that seed of consciousness inside of you. Okay, because that is that speck of God, or that speck of spirituality, or that seed that is inside of you. So they meditate in. In the West, we don't do that. In the West, we think God is hiding in a black hole somewhere, or at Andromeda somewhere, or at Alpha Centauri, or wherever. So we're meditating out to find him. Okay. So we're meditating that way in the West. In the East, they meditate this way. Which is the right way? I'm not going to argue. Okay. So if you think God is that direction, then you're going to meditate that way. If you think God is inside of you, then you meditate that way. That's called the Eastern way or the Western way. But I'll tell you this. People have been doing it the Eastern way for thousands of years. The Western way is kind of new. Okay. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm not, whatever works for you. We're just going over this. But the Eastern way been working for thousands of years. But if you want to do it the Western way, and if you believe God is hiding in a black hole, and if you want to meditate going out into space and into the cosmos and whatever, you can knock yourself out. It's all good. What can I say? Okay, now. So those are the two ways of meditating in or meditating out. And this is called Godful meditation, because when you're meditating on the light, and this is the old way where people was meditating on God. They wanted to meditate on the light. They wanted to meditate on the bliss. They wanted to, and why did they want to do that? Okay. We're back to what we discussed earlier. Remember, we discussed earlier that there's three ways to talk to them. We pray to God. We think God is Santa Claus, so we tell God what we want. We need this, we need that, we need a new car, okay. Some people chant to God by saying nice things to him. Oh, you're so great, and your love is deeper than the deepest ocean, and your wisdom is brighter than the brightest star, and do these mantras. God will hear all those sweet things you're saying, and he will turn his attention to you. And when he turns his attention to you, he knows what you need in your life. He knows you better than you do. So by him turning your attention to you, he can help you with your life. Meditation is just to focus on him, because meditation is based on the principle that God and the angels and your spirit guides are there to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's all you have to do is shut up, turn off all that noise, the radio, the TV, all that stuff, and you can hear him. And he's trying to help you 24/7, 365. You just need to shut up and listen. So that's why you're going to meditate on him. You don't have to ask of anything. You don't have to tell him of anything, because he knows all, right? So you just need to shut up and Listen, that's amazing. Okay. But this is what meditation is all about. This is the old way, which was God-focused meditation, where they're going to focus on the light. They're going to focus on the bliss, and they're going to just focus and have that white light encircle them, and they want to be covered in the light. And by doing that, what are they trying to achieve by doing this? They're trying to achieve something called balance, which we're going to get into next week. Remember, next week we're talking about oneness and dualism. Hinduism, Buddhism believed all problems in life is caused by being out of balance, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. And if you balance yourself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, you will not have any problems. The problems we have in the West is that we're out of balance. And even if you're, super good in one area, you're super terrible in another area. And this is why you have these people that is a school teacher by day, and a stripper by night. Okay, you get what I'm saying, don't you? They're living these dual lives where they're a policeman by day and they're an alcoholic wife or bruiser by night. Okay, you can't be in both camps at one time. You got to be either on that side of the fence or the other side. A lot of us are emotionally imbalanced. And it's not all our fault, because most of our families that we came from is screwed up also. Our parents were screwed up. Okay. But we need to find balance. And by being covered in the light, and by listening to that voice, and by meditating and activating your chakras, your point is to achieve balance. Mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And this is why people that meditate, they start to balance. And they start to have fewer problems in life. Okay. Because they're into achieving balance. But this is Godful meditation. Okay. Not everybody's doing Godful meditation. But Godful meditation is the old-fashioned meditation that people have been doing for thousands of years. Okay. Today a lot of people ain't doing that Godful meditation. They have moved on to bigger and better things. Okay. And we're going to be discovering bigger and better things. Okay. But maybe you got to think, if the old way was working, maybe we need to get back to a lot of these old ways, because a lot of this new stuff people doing today, it's kind of crazy. Okay. But let's talk about some of the crazy. Okay. So, we talked about Godful meditation, but this is all about, now, what is your ultimate goal of doing Godful meditation? It's to reach something called nirvana or Zen, where you are one, not only with yourself, and you actually have balance with yourself. Once you achieve balance with yourself, then you want to achieve balance with nature, balance with the earth, balance with the cosmos, balance with, we can keep going on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay. And you're just in your little egg of balance and perfection. And you got this hurricane going around you called life on earth, with all the BS that's going on every day and all the craziness you listen to on the news. But you are steady. And this is another thing. We're going on a tangent. Okay. Since we're talked about, remember, we're on a tangent now. But this get into another reason you need to meditate and why you need to power up your radio. Another reason for powering up your radio is not only to power up your radio. When you power up your radio, you also power up what is called your auric field. What does that mean? Most people, auric field extends a few inches away from them. Some people, auric fields extend 5-10 feet away from them. This is your defense shield. This is your This is your suit of armor. And if you're walking around the world with this, with your with your aura just a few inches, this is why today so many people are talking about, I'm suffering from envidias, I got jealousy, people are stabbing me in the back, this person don't like me, this and that. Other people could care less because they're walking around with this suit of armor. They don't give a. Okay. You can't be so sensitive today. You got to be able to protect yourself. There is so much craziness in the world today. You gotta be that soldier. And before you walk out that door every day in the morning, you gotta put your suit of armor on. You gotta take your shield and your sword, and you're marching out that door. And you don't give a if it's raining, if it's a good day or it's a bad day, or if it's this or that, or if my boss is mad. You are going straight, as I tell people every day. You're not going to let the BS of life get to you. And you got to have your auric field extended to do that. And another good reason for have your auric field extended, because you may not know this, but there's some bad people out there. Okay, and these bad people out here that pickpockets and looking to rip people off and looking to do all this stuff, they're scanning the crowd, just like that lion out there. See, the lion is lazy. He wants to eat, but he doesn't want to go after that healthy zebra. That's a lot of work, and I'm going to have to track him down, and I'm going to have to run and chase him all over the place. I don't feel like doing all of that. He likes to go after the old, the sick, the young, the ones that's kind of loco in the head. Okay, you get what I'm saying, don't you? These are the people that's looking for a victim like to prey on. The people that are not 100% there. They want an easy target. If you're going to snatch a purse, you're not going to snatch a purse from that lady that's walking and she's aware of everything and her mind is on everything. If you try to snatch her purse, she might beat you up. You're looking for that lady that's head is all down and she doesn't pay attention to what she's doing and she got victim written all over her back. This is why you got to, before you go out there in the world every day, you got to power up. You got to put that suit of armor on. You got to mentally take a few minutes before you leave the house and say, I'm going out there in the world. I'm going out there to fight. And I'm going to win. And I'm taking my suit of armor. I'm taking my shield. I'm taking my sword. I'm good to go. I'm ready. Okay. And you got to be powered up. And then you can face whatever is out there and you can come home. Okay. Now, that was a little tangent, we throwing that in, but this is something that's good for meditation. So in the morning, before you leave the house, you need to do your little breathe, even if you just got 2 or 3 minutes. Breathe and power yourself up so you can go out there and face that cold, evil world every day. Okay, you need to power up. Let's go back to what we was talking about before. So we talked about nirvana, we talked about Zen, and by having yourself powered up, by having your auric field extended, you can work at Walmart or in that place where people are doing everything and nothing phases you. You just go straight through. Okay. That is Zen. You got your Zen on. You got you're in nirvana. You are totally at peace with yourself. The world may be going to hell, but you're not. Okay. This is what Godful meditation is all about. Keeping yourself covered in light, keeping yourself strong and protected. You can't do good. Now, as I said, there's lots of other types of meditation. Let's get into some of this newer type of meditation that people are doing. One of the things that people are doing now, and which started maybe 20, 30 years ago, even further, was this guided meditation. Guided meditation, because a lot of people, that they don't want to just work on the light. They want to, guided meditation where you're listening and it takes you on a journey. And guided meditation supposed to be, what guided meditation is supposed to be traveling beyond yourself. It's like a controllable out-of-body experience where this meditation is taking you on a trip and it's bringing you back home safely. Okay. And good guided meditation tapes, you feel that. You feel like you went somewhere. Even if you're floating in the clouds, or you're visiting the planets, or your guided meditation where you're in the rainforest or wherever they're going. The purpose of this thing is you're taking a mental vacation. Maybe you can't, like me, I haven't had a vacation in several years, but mentally, I take a vacation all the time. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Because I just go on my little trips. Okay. My body's over there, but Lynn is zoned out. Okay. And you can do that too. And you would be amazed how refreshed you feel after you do that. Just, you can do it sitting in a chair after you're home, and just get in your recliner and just sit back and you just zone out, and you can just be in the rainforest or be on the beach and just you and the sand, and you just loving it. And you don't have to have, you can do this with music. You can do this with speaking. You can do this by yourself. Just imagining you're on the beach, or you're in the middle of the rainforest, or whatever soothes you. Okay. You don't need to buy a program. Or you can always do, YouTube or whatever. It doesn't make any difference. The only thing I would tell you to be a little bit sensitive of is subliminal tapes that's doing guided meditations. Because some of these subliminal tapes are good. Other ones, see, you never know what's in the subliminal. You got to get a subliminal from something you trust. Because what subliminal is planting thoughts. And sometimes people want to sell things, and they're planting the thought, hey, you need to buy this set, you need to order this, you need to do that, you got enough stuff on your mind already. Okay. So if you're going to do with subliminal tapes, you need to make sure, I like this company, I trust this, I like this religious organization, I trust them, and hey, that's good for you. But I'm not a big subliminal person. I tried it for a while, and something about it was rubbing me the wrong way. I didn't know what they were saying, but sometimes you listen to a subliminal and you feel good, and sometimes you listen to a subliminal and you just have that bad aftertaste. And you don't know why, but to me, I trust Lynn Livsey. And if Lynn Livsey doesn't feel good about something, it's out of there. Okay. So just be careful about those subliminals. But guided meditation is good. And remember, you are doing that trip, but you don't have to spend any money. You can do guided by yourself. Just relax in your recliner, do your breathing, and you're on the beach, and spend 10, 15 minutes on the beach after work. Oh, and you're going to feel so much better if you're a beach person. Okay. But whatever. Okay. So that is guided meditation. Now we're getting into the new type of meditation. New. N-E-W. Remember, people have been meditating for thousands of years. People have not been doing mindful meditation for thousands of years. This is new. Okay. We're going to talk about this mindful meditation, or what they call mindfulness meditation. This is totally new. Because mindfulness meditation, a lot of people today don't even believe in God, don't believe in the Spirit, don't believe in this, don't believe in that. So they don't want to focus on trying to listen. They want to focus on love, success, happiness, wealth, healing, all kind of stuff. So under mindfulness meditation, you just focus on whatever you want to. And a lot of people, and nothing is wrong with this. And if you want to do mindful meditation, especially if you are healing or if you're having some difficulty in your life and you just want to, you power up the radio and then you say, I want to focus on healing. I'm healing from my surgery, and what I'm doing is I'm focusing all of the energy of my body into healing. I'm focusing all of my organs and everything. I want healing energy to feel me. Nothing is wrong with that. Okay. Healing meditation is great. Okay. What get weird about mindful meditation is when you start focusing on money and focusing on, all this crazy stuff. Crazy is crazy. Okay. And they got mindful meditation tapes where you can focus on all kind of crazy stuff to where you're going to be rich and you're going to focus on becoming a millionaire and be focused on, okay. Do you really need to be focusing all of your mind on becoming a millionaire? Maybe, probably not. Okay. Was that the reason you was put on this planet, to become a millionaire? Probably not. Okay. But if you do need to focus on your family, if you need to focus on your health, if you need to focus, but you know what is right and what is crazy. Okay. Remember, if you want to get somewhere in life, you got to focus on the right stuff. Crazy is crazy. Okay. We're not doing crazy. Right? So, think about that. So, if you're going to do mindful meditation, you have to do mindful meditation on something that is good. Now, that was clear as mud, right? So, let's talk about the new type of mindful meditation. See, even in the new, there's the new. Okay. The new in mindful meditation is to focus on nothing. Because you don't want to focus on God. You don't want to focus on health. You don't want to focus on success. You don't want to focus on love. You don't want to focus on your family. You're just going to focus on nothing. And you're going to clear away every thought in your mind. And you just want that blank slate. And you're going to focus on totally nothing. Okay. We're going to talk about this. Because focusing on nothing has its good and bad side. Remember, you are broadcasting. You powered up the radio. And then to turn the radio to nothing, that is called becoming an open channel. And focusing on nothing has its good and bad side. For one, people that do mindful meditation where they just clear your mind of all thoughts, and I have done this several times. I'm speaking from experience. You can talk to people. When you do mindful meditation and you just clear your mind of all thoughts and you're totally by yourself and your mind is totally empty and you have no thoughts and you're just there in total peace, you will discover that you're not alone. There's another being there. And who is that? And no one can tell you who that being are. Because this is the land of these shadow creatures. Okay? And sometimes you see things staring at you. And sometimes you see, you start seeing things. Because you are an open channel. See, you're broadcasting on the radio, but you're not tuned to any station. You are just, I don't know what's going on. Okay. And this has its good and bad points. So this is why we're going to spend some time talking about focusing on nothing and the problems with focusing on nothing. See, when you're focusing on nothing, you're opening your mind. And this is the problem that people have when they're also opening their mind using things like LSD, magic mushrooms, DMT. See, now, people been using all kind of psychedelics like peyote and whatever in religious things for thousands of years. But they're using this to tap into something. You understand? So, the shamans are using peyote Or you go and take the ayahuasca tea, and that expand your mind so you can tap into the white light, the God, the oneness around you or whatever. But when you tap into nothing and you expand your mind, is when you start being on that, I've been on a desert with a horse with no name, okay? And you start seeing things and you start experiencing things. And this is the problem with DMT. And you can go on YouTube and type in DMT, and people would tell you, oh, on DMT, you can see the air, and you can see aliens, and you can see, and you meet these beings, and they talk to you, okay? But no one knows who these beings are. And you don't even have to do the drugs to do this, because in mindful meditation you come across some of this stuff also. You come across some of these beings. Now, what are you tapping into? Because remember, okay, we're going to take another diversion. We have time. Okay, see, remember, we live in, okay, let me explain. All the reality is like a TV. A TV is receiving a signal from every station, but it can only broadcast one signal at a time. So, we're on channel 5, the angels are on channel 7, the ghosts are on channel 4, everybody's on a different channel. Everything is separated. Okay. When you start doing these hallucinogenic drugs or whatever, you start blurring the line between 4 and 5, and you start seeing things. Okay. And this is the reason when you open your mind and expand your mind, you can start seeing things. And some of this is good if you know what you're doing. This is why, if you're going to expand your mind, this is why, and let's talk about the ayahuasca for a second, since we're on this tangent. Okay. Now, if you want to go to Peru and sip the tea and expand your mind and consciousness, there's 2 groups of people that go down there. If you're going to sip the tea, you got to go to the shamans, and they're going to make you take their day or 2 course before you sip the tea. Okay. And some people don't want to listen to all that shamanistic BS. Okay, I don't want to listen to those people. They're just talking. Just give me the damn tea. Okay. Now, the people that take the course, they sip the tea, they experience things, and they come home. The ones that don't take the course are the ones that are yelling and screaming and hollering and doing all kind of crazy stuff, because they're seeing things. They don't know what they're seeing. They don't know what they're experiencing. They're freaking out. Okay. Because when you expand your mind, and what do expand your mind mean? I'm going to explain it to you very simple. When you go in the ocean and you're swimming around in the ocean, and people say, there's a lot of fish out there. I've been on there all day. I haven't seen a single fish. I don't see no fish out there. Because the water blinds you. You can't see. So even though you was playing on the beach all day, you didn't see a single fish. But if you put a pair of goggles on and go back in the water, oh my gosh, I had no idea there were so many fish out there. Okay. Now, the fish was always there. The difference is you could not see them because you didn't have goggles on. Okay. We live in our world. We're not here by ourselves. There are other with dimensional planes that are on top of ours, some neighbor ours and whatever. We cannot see these things. Okay. But when you start expanding your mind, your consciousness, that's the reason people talk about they can see aliens and they can see the wind and they can see shadow creatures and they can see this and that. Because there's a lot of things we can only see in wavelengths of light between 400 and 700 wavelength of light. We was told that everything that exists between 400 and 700, which is total BS. That's the same lie that we was told before 1947, that all life exists in the top 500 feet of water, and below 500 feet is a vast, that the ocean is an empty desert. Okay. We believed that until 1947, when a French guy built the first submarine that went below 500 feet. He went all the way down to 6 miles. Okay. And there's life everywhere. Now, did life below 500 feet only start existing after 1947? Or was it there for thousands of years before 1947? We just didn't know it existed before 1947. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So, the things that people see when they're watching on LSD or magic mushrooms or DMT or ayahuasca, that stuff is around you every single day. But you just can't see it because you don't have your goggles on. Okay. But when you start getting into mindful meditation and clearing your mind, you're getting close to the border. Okay. And you don't have to use drugs to get near the border. I've been close to the border without drugs. Okay. And there's even rocks you can use. I'm a rock man. There's rocks you can use to get close to the border. Things like azurite and modavite and things. That'll take you to the border too. Okay. You don't even need to buy drugs. You can buy rocks. There's lots of ways to get to the border. Okay. But if you're going to go near the border, you need to know what you're doing. And you need to know what you're going to experience. This is why certain people that read certain books have problems and other people that read certain books don't have problems. Because if you're, certain books like Necronomicon or Demonic Bible or there's a lot of weird books out there. I've read a lot of them. Okay. These books are for initiates only, for those who know. And if you don't know anything and you start reading these crazy books, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So you need to be careful. When you're doing mindful meditation, you should always be focusing on something. You never want to be an open channel unless you're out in the deep water for a reason. And if you're out in the deep water with your scuba diving gear on, you're there for a reason. And you're looking for something. And I've been in very deep water. Okay. But I'm always looking for something. I'm not just tripping. Tripping is where you're out there, don't know what in the hell you're doing. And that's how you end up getting in trouble. And that's why a lot of these movies say based on real events. Okay. Because they're writing on what happened to you. You messing with something you shouldn't have been messing with. Okay. And we don't want them to be writing movies about you. But what is out there when you get near the edge of reality? See, there is a very thin line between our reality. Remember, our reality only extends so far. We only exist between 400 and 700 wavelength of light. That's the reason some people can see shadows. And since we're on a tangent, this is why children can see shadows. Because some children can see 350, some children can see 750. As you get older, your vision narrows. This is why some kids, like me, I had invisible friends when I was growing up. Because I saw a lot of things when I was growing up. Okay. I was saying all kind of crazy stuff. Okay. It's not that I was crazy. Well, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I'm still crazy. But I don't see those things anymore. But when I was a kid, my visual range was a lot greater. Okay. And this is why kids have these invisible friends, this and that and everything out there. Okay. But as you get older, your vision narrows. So a lot of people see shadows and this and that, but they're just seeing a little bit of channel 4, a little bit of channel 7. But as I said, when you get close to these lines, you need to know where the lines are. Okay. And there's certain lines which, if you're going to cross certain lines, you need to have somebody to help you, and you need to know what you're doing, and you need to know that you're crossing the line, because there are lines between fantasy and reality. Okay. And this is the problem that people have who does magic mushrooms too much or DMT too much. They lose that line between fantasy and reality. And they start talking about, I saw something, but I don't know, was I awake or was I asleep when I saw that? Because there's a difference. See, and this is what happened with people that, what have sleep apnea. And you go several days without sleeping. You can't remember, was that a dream or was that not a dream? And there has been people, I hate to say this, who has been, have killed someone in a dream and woke up and there's blood on their hands. Okay. And they thought it was just a dream they had. Okay. And there's been court cases about this and certain medications that have been taken off the market because of this. Because you need to have that line between fantasy and reality. That line between being awake and being asleep. That line between lots of things. And when you get into certain things, it starts blurring the line. Okay. And when you are blurring the line, you don't want to be talking about, I think I hit somebody in my car, but I'm not sure. Maybe that was a dream. I'm not sure. Okay. That sounds very bad. Okay. So, you need to know where the lines are. And if you're going to get out in deep water, this is why there's classes or people who can instruct you on how to do certain things. If you want to get into dream work, or things like that, there's a proper way of doing this stuff. There's a proper way of doing all kind of stuff. And let's talk about this for a minute. Why do people want to get into the very deep water? This is what they do in India. Some of these gurus, they can go into a meditative, and they have done this 100 times, where they lock something in a safe 100 miles away. And this guru will go into a meditative trance, and he's in that trance for 3 hours. And when he wakes up, he can tell you what's in the safe, because he can go into a trance. He can meditate, and he can get separation between his physical body and his spirit body. And he can do astral travel. Okay. Some people can do that. Some people can control that. But if you want to learn how to do that, you're talking years and years of learning how to do that. And they know how to do it, how to open the door and close the door. Remember, if you don't know how to, don't be opening doors that you don't know how to close. If you don't know how to close the door, don't open it. But, some people, I met a lady who had that ability. And she was telling me that when she's worried about family members across the country, she can think about them when she goes to sleep, and she can visit them in her dreams. And her family members at first didn't believe this, but she can tell them what they was wearing, what was in the house, everything. That's very scary. Okay. For one, it's scary for her to be doing that. And for two, I don't want her ghost to be in my house watching me what I'm doing. I need to put a burglar alarm on there so when her ghost try to come in my house, the burglar alarm goes off. Okay, you get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. But some people have that ability. And these gurus and some people can teach themselves how to get separation. That's why they're in the deep water. Okay. Now, can you do that? Okay. Most people that's taking illicit drugs, they're just tripping. Tripping is you have no control on what you're doing. No control. Okay. Tripping is bad. Okay. But not everybody who's doing peyote or mushrooms or ayahuasca is tripping. Some of these people are doing it for a reason. And that's why these shamans can sip the tea and they can do all kind of stuff. And this is what they was talking about in the movie Black Panther, where he would sip the tea and he would go and talk to his ancestors. You see what I'm saying? He was not tripping, he was not just running around the rainforest. No, he sipped the tea so he could talk to his elders for advice. And then he would come back. This is what shaman priest does. This is what the American Indians practice. Okay. They're not sipping the tea to get, pardon my French, fucked up. Okay. We're not doing that. Okay. That's a penalty flag on the play. So, you can learn how to do this. If you're going to meditate, if you're going to do any of this, there's a right way or the wrong way. So, let's review. We're running out of time. But most of us, what we need to do is go back to the beginning and go back to just basic meditation. And meditation is to concentrate again. It is to focus your mind. And you're not supposed to be focusing your mind on this person hate me or this and that or my boss is mad at me. Okay, that's the stuff that drives you crazy and what makes you insane. You're supposed to be focusing your mind on what you need to do in life and your goals in life and what you're trying to accomplish in your life. And if you need help with your health, or if you remember, they're always willing to help you. And if you're having health problems, then you just need to maybe ask those people upstairs, say, hey, I'm having a lot of health problems. Can you guide me with my health problems? They might give you some advice. And this is what I did the other day. I was having some health problems. I was eating some poppy seed bagels a few weeks ago, and I broke out in a rash, and I didn't know what in the hell was going on, and oh my gosh, I was having all kind of problems. And when I don't know what to do, and I'm not one of these people that, I hate doctors, okay, I do my little meditations, and I'm a reader too. I try to talk to those people upstairs, and they start giving me advice on what to do, and do this, and try this, and do this, and quit eating that, and okay. You get what I'm saying? Okay. That's how I solve all my health problems for years. When I have problems, I start talking to those people upstairs. Hey, I'm having this problem. Hey, I'm having this problem with this, I'm having financial problems. What should I do? I still my mind and I start to listen. Okay. I screw it up. They help me to straighten it up. Okay. Isn't that amazing? Okay. So, in review, remember, meditation is all about concentrating on the light. Godful meditation is what we also supposed to be doing. If we don't want to do that godful meditation, we can do mindful meditation as long as you're focusing on something. We are not doing mindful meditation where we're focusing on nothing. We are not going to be an open channel. Okay. And just say, I'm just let the universe rain into me. No, we're not going there. That's a penalty flag. Okay. And guided meditations are great as long as they're not subliminal guided meditations. We're not doing subliminal guided meditations. And you don't need to spend money on guided meditations. You can get it on YouTube or you can do it yourself. If you like waterfalls or whatever, just power yourself up and imagine yourself being at the waterfall. It's priceless. And with meditation, you can still your mind. And the goal of all meditation is to achieve balance mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Isn't that amazing? And we all need to reach Zen, which is happiness and cheerfulness. This is why so many Americans are unhappy in life. because we want somebody to give us happiness. Happiness comes from within. And then you're looking for someone to share your happiness with. Okay.